Hi guys, and welcome back to Honey We're Home. I'm Caroline Crawford Patterson.
And I'm Nicole Pellegrino.
And we have a bite-sized episode for you today. It is going to be 40 minutes in and out, super fun. We're kicking off holiday conversations.
Yes. Well, before we do, I really need to address the elephant in the room, which is, I'd be remiss to not mention, if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll see. If not, use that imagination. I'm going to paint a picture for you. We're sitting across the table from each other. I'm a little stiff as a board, you might say, and Caroline is feeling light as a feather because she's wearing a cute little white sweat set. It almost looks like a Taylor Swift Eras Tour sweater.
Shut up.
And I didn't read that before.
Purse.
With her little Love Shack fancy bottle. And me, very different vibe over here. I'm wearing a turtleneck sheer dress from the Nicole Miller Archives, which it's a hot dress. It really is. It's called the tattoo dress, I learned, because I think it looks like your body is covered in tattoos. It's sheer with black lace.
Do you get to keep it?
No.
Yeah,
I don't
really
think.
cool.
Nicole Miller herself was like, I wore that to the CFDA Awards, and I was like, oh my God, okay.
Oh yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, so I think I have to give it back. I don't know. I didn't ask. But it's very outside my comfort zone because here's the thing. I don't know about you, but I never got into the sheer dress trend of it all or the sheer clothing in general. I feel like I'm 31 and usually I'm a big proponent for like wear whatever you want no matter what age. But when the sheer things started coming out, I said, no, I'm too old.
Yeah.
So this dress, I mean, all I'm wearing is mere little nipple covers on my nipples and a pair of shapewear little short booties. I packed a pair of underwear just in case because I do want to put them on quickly before I leave to go to this dinner. And I want to get your opinion on the underwear of it all because that's more revealing. And I was searching all morning, like, what do you wear?
I don't think you need it because like I was trying to style this brown sheer-ish skirt and I couldn't wear it because I didn't have the right type of like short boy short Spanx, like, and that's what you need. Like, you don't want ass cheeks out, and you also don't want it to look like you're literally looking at your underwear.
Yeah,
there's like the booty short is like the right move.
Okay, I think my husband would also agree because he didn't see me leave the house. He's at the Eagles game for work, of course. Story of my life. But last night, this is why I wanted to bring this up on the pod.
Okay.
It's a marriage combo.
Okay.
Last night I was trying things on. I was like, I gotta wear this sheer number out tomorrow in the cold. Here we go. And I put on the nipple things. Like, these aren't a huge deal because you really can't like see unless you're looking really close.
Yeah.
I don't know what else I am supposed to wear. But then the underwear I put on, and let me just preface, Mike never cares about, I have worn a bikini top out with a thong bathing suit before, and he's like, you look hot, go off.
Yeah.
Like, he's not one of those men who has
So why
ever
did he
cared
care this
what
time?
I wore. Something about the sheer dress of it all, he was just like, whoa. He was like, but I can see your underwear. This is when I tried it on with the underwear, not the shorts.
He's like ready to be a dad.
He'd be happy with, he's getting to that point. He'd be happy with the shorts.
That's what's really getting me right now. The confusion in his voice.
Yeah.
Like not being able to understand, like, but I can see your underwear though.
Yeah. Like I almost got a flash forward to the future with daughters being like me being like, you can go out of the house like that. And Mike's the dad that's like, no, honey, I can see your underwear.
Are you gonna, in that dynamic, who wins?
I don't know. I don't know yet. Probably me.
Yeah.
But like,
I was raised where you have no boobs, you have no say. So like my mom would be like,
oh, yeah, like she got the say. And
my dad made fun of what I wore all the time, but I was raised to ignore it.
Yeah. I don't know how I think both my parents were like, we've lost her. Let her wear that.
Yeah.
No,
it's interesting.
My mom used to make me change actually if I was too revealing. She wouldn't be too happy.
That's what I'm saying.
Right
if you have boobs, you can.
Yeah.
My
dad didn't care.
But I think the thing too is like, especially as your kids are growing up and they're trying to figure out what they're interested in. Perhaps they're interested in fashion, and so you're trying to let them discover what they like and what they don't like in their personal style and their confidence and whatever. So I think sometimes like dads are just putting judgment on a daughter, and that's where like the commentary of the wardrobe is coming from.
Yeah.
Versus like a mom might be, and obviously not all dads are like this, but in like a traditional dynamic, I have found that. And then, but the mom's commentary in the wardrobe is more like understanding of the personal style aspect, but then kind of pointing it out when you go too far.
Yeah. That makes sense. Well, and there are relationships out there. I feel like we won't have to worry about this because Mike and John seem very cool with what we wear. And it's not like you and I are going out wearing absolutely nothing usually. I mean, sometimes I love a crop top still to this day. But I feel like we won't have to worry about it.
You really love a crop top.
I know, like still. I really do. Except not this past week because I finally... And that's another thing. This dress... I was like, let me feel hot. I mean, again, Mike never was trying to say no. Like if I had said at the end of the day, I'm wearing this underwear out, let me. But I was like, my bloating just went down.
Yeah, his EQ in that comment was off.
Yeah, I was like, I'm on my IVF comeback tour. That's what I'm calling it. Like this little brief period where I'm not shooting up my uterus every day with hormones. I'm trying to be hot.
Yeah, and you look hot.
Thank you so much. Thank you. But yeah, so it makes me feel for the girlies out there who have like kind of toxic relationships where their men like won't let them wear things, you know?
Yeah. I think that if a guy is not raised with girls, he might not understand the implications of saying something about a girl's wardrobe.
Yeah, like no sisters.
Yeah, and I know that for a fact because once John did make a comment about me wearing this like shirt where you could like see my bra and it was like low cut, and I have big boobs, like whatever. And my mom was like in the other room. I don't know why out of all days of his life he decided to make that comment when my mom was there, and she literally sat him down and stood over him.
He'll never say anything ever again.
She stood over him and she waved her finger at him, and she said, you don't know what's funny. If I ever hear you tell her
that's
what
scary.
what to wear or what not to wear, you don't want to know what's gonna happen, or like something like that. And he was like, oh shit.
Wait, that's really funny.
Never again.
Yeah, no. I mean, I knew a couple in college that the guy got mad at her once when she shaved her legs. Because he was like, you're doing that. You're like trying to have smooth legs for
another guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
and we were
my
like,
God.
Let her shave. We were like, can you let her shave her legs? It's crazy.
Wait, they're not still together, are they?
No, they actually are.
Oh, they are?
Yeah. They're a cute couple. I mean, whatever. It was just, we were all crazy in college.
Right, but that's
no
like
judgment,
a weird...
But actually judgment. Cause
no, like toxic. That's a heavy insecurity.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, like, it could be worse.
No, it could be worse.
You know? But Mike puts up with a lot. I pop them titties. But I also don't... Them titties. What am I saying?
I don't know what's wrong.
But yeah, I also don't enjoy wearing revealing stuff anymore. This isn't, though. This is like a sheer dress. That's it. Okay, we can move on from the sheer dress of it all.
Yeah, that's enough of it. Okay, so the thing is the holidays are coming up, and so we want to start talking about it.
Well,
we're really shooting the shit, but it is so holiday oriented.
I'm scared that every episode until Christmas is going to be holiday oriented, and I'm going to have to put my foot down.
Well, the holidays are more than Christmas. It's an entire season. We're 2 weeks away from Thanksgiving.
Did you see that guy posted a TikTok that was like, I think the adults that like go gaga over Christmas starting November 1st
are happier?
Well, no, but I like that.
Okay.
Are like Disney adults.
Okay, first of all, fuck off.
No, literally, I saw it and I was like, I was about to tag you.
First of all.
And I was like, Caroline is a Disney adult.
If you ever
You're a Disney
have
adult.
the audacity to call me a Disney adult.
But I am a Disney adult, low-key. Like, everybody can fuck off.
And that's
I'm
embarrassing
a proud
for
Disney
you.
adult.
And you're going to have to live with that.
I'm a proud...
You're not. You're not a Disney adult. Disney adult honeymoon in Disney World.
I just love Disney.
Disney adults are a very specific breed. And you guys are very nice and very lovely people. But there is a screw loose.
They get married at Disney.
Yes, that is a Disney... They get
I know a couple
engaged,
that did that.
And they worked there as princesses.
Yeah.
You know?
But I like that. I think if you are a Disney adult, own it. You own who you are.
They don't have any other choice but to own it. They are so obsessed that they walk around in one of their 17 pairs of custom Minnie Mouse ears.
Yeah.
Like to go to dinner. They would go to a Michelin star restaurant in New York City and wear their Mickey Mouse ears.
But your love for Christmas kind of gives the same energy.
Yeah, it does. For sure. I think everybody should have something that brings him that much joy as an adult.
I liked your response to that because there were people in the comments that were like, okay, you know what? Fuck off and let me if it brings me some joy to be in the holiday spirit for 2 months, then let me do it.
Yeah. Also, you know, because I have like the theory about so tragic. I mean, we have so much to catch up on, not a ton of time to do it, but like we were really trying to discuss if we had time to get a tree to put it up. And this is a larger discussion because obviously we don't have that big of an apartment. And so this is kind of part of the things I wanted to talk about because as we get older, like the holidays are getting more and more stressful, like logistically, when we're talking about flights are getting more expensive. Like people might have PTO, but now they're important at work, so they can't take their PTO.
Yeah.
Like it's harder to coordinate seeing your friends. It's harder to coordinate seeing your family. You have people that want to travel to see you or to New York and then they're staying with you. And
you know why it gets harder too? Because siblings start wanting to do their own thing because they're having their own kids.
Yes.
So everybody wants to do it at their homes instead of all siblings just going to parents.
So I'm really fighting some of the like holiday stress right now. Like I don't want it to overcome how much like joy it brings me. Because I really do think that once the new year hits and it's like cold and quiet and dark and bland outside, it's like those were the really exciting things
that's true
lifted you up. And then you keep your decorations up and I like keeping my tree up.
That gives me the most depression in the world.
No, really.
For some reason, Christmassy things after Christmas give me anxiety and depression.
So I would change my tree stuff to be like more like pink or whatever. I don't know, but it's nice. It gets dark really, really early. So it's like you have something glowing in the corner and whatever. Like,
I mean, normal people like that.
It's so interesting that it freaks you out.
It freaks me. Before Christmas, I deck the halls with bells of holly, but after, why do I look like
you are on a
real housewife?
Back of a horse.
But after in the dress, after it's I don't know, it's weird mental thing. Gotta hash that out in therapy one day.
So I just don't know. We don't know if we were gonna be able to get a tree.
So what's the main stressor?
Really
like, do you guys know which family you're doing what at?
Yes.
Okay.
And I kind of wrote this down too because I was like, I'm feeling pressure for like hosting a lot and all these different things and all these activities I've sort of like gotten myself into. But I can't tell if it's good pressure or bad pressure because it's like about things I enjoy, but it is a lot. So we're going to do Thanksgiving in Atlanta, but this is the first year that my parents and Claire, they're going to come. Sarah's still in Paris, so she won't be there. And Margaret is with her fiance. So it'll be the three of them coming. This is like a feeler type of joint Thanksgiving.
Are you stressed about your in-laws and your mom?
A little bit. They'll get along. The thing is that I did not anticipate, and I guess you guys have probably had this that have already been able to like coordinate joint holidays. We talk about this sometimes, like when you go to your in-laws, you like, it's like your rot period. Like you sleep late.
Our in-laws fucking love us.
Literally, like I'm very unhelpful.
Rot.
Like sometimes when I need to be helpful, I'm on it. Like
we're lucky. We have in-laws that like allow us to rot and like like support the rot.
2 years ago, I think, last year, I can't recall. I hand washed dishes for 7.5 hours to move them back into their house because the dishwasher wasn't working.
I do wash a dish or two when I'm at my in-laws.
I'm down to help. But what I mean is, they aren't your parents or your siblings, and there's really no obligation for you. So it's like this weird period of time where you get to sleep in late and go to bed early if you want to, and sit in your pajamas all day. And
I also feel so bad for mine because truly the past 2 holidays that we were there, I got deathly ill.
I love to get sick.
By the second time, they were probably like, is Nicole faking it at this point?
Wait, when this happened though, didn't I tell you I just thought you were super exhausted and you realized and then got sick?
Yeah, probably.
This was before you left Betches.
Oh yeah, and I was burned out.
Yeah. So I wasn't really prepared for the fact that when I joined holidays, I lose that kind of relaxation time because now I'm really like, wait, my parents are going to be there and my sister's going to be there. So now I'm in charge of entertaining and scheduling and flow and like being on top of it versus like being in the background.
So that's the thing. Like that's the only thing about everybody together that would almost stress me out a little more because I would feel like I'm the puppet master, not puppet. What am I? Orchestrator.
Like
because it's joining of the two, I'd be overstressed about making sure like my dad and stepmom and my in-laws are all like BFF, like almost to the point where I'd probably come in the room and be like, so like fostering conversation, like a fucking mother.
Yeah, it's psychopathic for sure.
But like they don't need that because they're also just like
they're adults,
nice
and our
people.
moms love to tell us like, you guys are, or like, you forget that we're more adults than you are. Like we know how to have conversations with other adults.
Yeah. Or I feel like the common thing with in-laws too is like you want to make sure your own parents and family are on best behavior for your in-laws.
Yeah.
So if I see that like my sister is making a mess at my in-law, like I would go to her and that would just stress me out. Like,
I don't feel ill prepared for the stress. And I don't feel like it's not worth it. Like, I think it's a necessary step to do. I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
Now, like, I have new information where I feel like perhaps my dream of Thanksgiving in New York might be the case next year. Like,
I have really bad news for you.
Why? I mean, in this situation and what I'm talking about, which I can't really get into, there would be no other choice.
What do you mean?
There, like, we would have somewhere to be 2 days later. So we would not be able to leave New York for Thanksgiving.
Why do you have
I cannot.
2 days later?
Yeah. Like,
wait, what are you saying? What do you mean?
I'm saying that next year we might, my family might have to come to New York for Thanksgiving.
Because you have a wedding after.
Essentially. But yeah.
Okay. So you didn't say that. So
I know because I was trying not to say it.
Well,
I was trying not to say
we're on a podcast.
Essentially, I get it, but still, there are some things. I essentially would maybe have a wedding after. And so then it would be my family coming to New York. And at that point, we always spend Thanksgiving with John's family. So it's like, then we would have to figure out a way for everyone to be in New York for Thanksgiving, which is something that we always wanted to do eventually. Mm-hmm. So now it's like, oh, okay, well, great that we have this tester Thanksgiving this year then. Like, that means that
everyone together.
Right. That means that like if that had to happen next year, it would be the first time. So I think that doing it is worth it. It's just, it's like complex. Like, it's like the more we like blend these families, like the more
also
complex
think,
everything's getting.
Like, yeah, we just had a whole conversation about how it's stressful, but I also like want to be like, just let go and enjoy.
I'm working on that.
Easier said than done.
Yeah, I'm working on that.
I'm
reading a book about it right now. I'm not kidding.
She's self-helping.
Yeah, my friend Ellison is like sent me and Ashlyn this like devotion book about like letting go of certain things that you like.
Yeah, you need the let them theory. Do you know what that is? I actually don't know really what it is enough to explain.
I do.
So.
The let them theory is not about what you're talking about though.
Like let them.
Yeah, the let them theory is about assholes. Like,
okay.
Not about.
You're right.
Yeah.
The word let really got me. Okay, not that you asked, but
yeah.
Can I tell you about my good news for me, bad for you?
What?
You hate to hear that. I'm doing Thanksgiving in New York. Well, in Hoboken, if you want to get technical. Well, New York.
You were doing it in a different state.
Well, listen. I didn't tell you. This happened as of yesterday.
That you finally got invited to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade?
Ding, ding, ding.
I knew you were actively trying to do it. And I said, it's like, my dream and I'm going to cry.
So because, okay, as you all know, Mike and I procrastinate. We have an inability to make decisions about holidays and plan because we don't have a set system. If you guys listened to our holiday episode literally last year, Caroline's set system that she's somehow rigged, and we can go into this later.
Yeah, please. We can't talk about it too much because I don't want my bluff being called.
Your what? Oh, yeah. You don't want haters being like, why did she?
No, I don't need support on the other side pushing me to change my ways.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. So you get Christmas with your family. You guys do Christmas with yours, Thanksgiving with John's.
Yeah.
We don't have that.
Yeah.
So every year we kind of alternate. Like everybody's always like, oh, well, the easy thing to do would just be to alternate fairly every year. Alternate who gets Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be simple and easy.
Cookie cutter answers don't work in real life. I don't like when people tell me those things.
Because then you're alternating, but then your siblings might be doing the same thing with
Yes.
their spouses. And if you don't coordinate well enough, which we
Yeah.
never do, you're not getting the same year. So you just like never see your siblings again.
And that's why I'm cool with being psycho sometimes, because someone has to be the over-analyzer, overthinker too far in advance
Yeah.
to make it
Well, and then
happen.
Like in the past, we've just ended up doing 4 Christmases and
Yeah.
breaking our backs to go to everybody's house in one day, like a psycho person, which, you know, we have North Carolina, we have Delaware, we have Jersey, South Jersey.
Who's in North
brother's
Carolina?
my sister-in-law, Max and Lauren. And then, and then we have my brother in LA, poor Chris, bye, Virginia
Yeah.
for the holiday. No, I usually like to go out there in early December, but not this year. I wish I was. But so this year, nobody planned a thing. Mike's parents were kind of like pulled a boss move, and they were like, we're going to see Lauren in North Carolina for Christmas. Like, come down if you want. You guys are welcome, obviously. And I was like, well, I get Christmas because I think for the past 2 Christmases, we've done them with Mike and I, like the toxic little couple that we aren't, but can be once in a while, were pulling up receipts the other day.
To see who gets it. Yeah.
We were going into the iPhone photos album, scrolling back to 2021, 2022, December, showing photos of where exactly we were on December 21, 22, 20.
Oh my gosh.
It was crazy. And it was like, I was like, this needs to be a comedy skit because he was like, no, December 21, we were at your sister's first and then we went to your dad's, but your dad didn't want us there because we all had COVID. And then and I was like, dear God. So I was like, Christmas is mine this year. I want to see Mike's parents. Obviously, I love them to death. So we might do something after Christmas with them, but I get Christmas. We're doing my family. I don't know, TBD, but for Thanksgiving, Mike's parents were like, we have nothing to do. If you guys are around, like, we'll do something. And my family, like, my dad's doing something with, like, my stepmom and her sister and stuff. And I miss Simone and Ryder. Haven't seen them in 17 years. But so they're already, like, doing something. And then both my siblings are with their in-laws and stuff. So
now you're basically down to, like, one holiday that you guys have the potential to see everybody on.
Yeah. And Thanksgiving just like wasn't it for my family this year. And I was like, if we get Christmas, then like I can give Mike's family Thanksgiving. When we got invited to the parade, I was like, let's see if your parents would want to come to that. That way, like, we don't have to go to South Jersey. We don't have to travel.
Yeah, that would be nice.
So they're coming
and
up.
now because you have 2 bedrooms.
2 bedrooms. The 4 of us are going to the parade at crack of dawn, 7 a.m.
Yeah, that's going to be so fun. I'm so envious and excited for you.
I don't know what our seats are like. Somebody from NBC, I have the hookup for you in future years now.
I know. I got invited last year and I had to say no. And I was like, what did I told? And I texted you and I said, you said that's so sad. And I said, yeah, I cried. And I locked myself in the bedroom and cried on the day of Thanksgiving watching the parade.
I was just dying, picturing you just like crying at your in-laws on Thanksgiving Day.
Which is literally what happened.
Your mother-in-law's probably just like...
No, she's definitely loves me so much and thinks I'm so crazy.
Yeah, I mean, same. But yeah, so I'm so excited. We're going to do the parade. And then I think we're going to go back to the apartment and I'm going to host. But for 4 people, so it's fine. I'll just like...
Also, they're really good. Not that you would like want to do this, but they're really good Thanksgiving like reservations at like really good restaurants. Like I was talking to Sarah about this earlier in conversation of like if we had to do this next year. I was like, I would rather make a great reservation at like... And the first year she was at school in Paris, like my sister went to go visit her for Thanksgiving and they like took themselves to a Michelin star restaurant for Thanksgiving. And that was like a big treat for them. And it is a cool experience to like be able to do that. And you wouldn't do that in another city as much as you like might do it in New York.
No, that's true. We did think about that. It's like a prefix menu, but it's like a good one. If you pick
Yeah,
a
I mean, because
place.
you'll already be in the city.
Yeah, we might
from
do
the
that.
parade.
Because, like, Lord knows I ain't looking up a stuffing recipe yet.
Right. But I think that'll be really fun.
Yeah, I'm excited. They were so in for it quickly. Like,
Yeah.
I thought we were going to have to, like, convince, but they were like, no, we're
This
good.
is, though, like what being married is. Sometimes I think people are like, what's the difference of dating, being engaged, being married? And there are a lot of emotional differences. But I think being married, you can continue to do holidays separately. And like, I think a lot of people do. And I do not shit on people for doing that, because combining families, having to split up from your family, it is not easy. Like, just because people do it doesn't mean it's easy. Most of us love our siblings and our family and like to be around them.
It's so depressing.
And so it is really a hard adjustment. And I think once you're married, you're like, this is not that I don't want to spend the holiday with you. I do. I just wish you were with me and my family for all the holidays, and you wish the same. So
Right. And
this is going to be hard.
It's tough because, like, I feel like we've talked about this, and it's like it's not like we hate spending the holidays with our in-laws. We love our in-laws.
Oh yeah, no, it's
Ideally everyone's together, but you like there's nothing like your own family, especially when you've all been through trauma like ours have.
Yeah.
And so like
my traditions are like, I'm so attached to them in a way
Yeah.
that's like maybe perhaps unhealthy, but also like I can't care.
yeah. And there's just something about spending Christmas Eve and Christmas with your family, and I don't know. I just like, and then like the whole cop out of like, oh, but we'll see your family after Christmas. It's
not.
fine, but it's not the same.
Laying eyes on somebody isn't the point. I think it's being a part of certain core memories and experiences. There's no one size fits all answer. Like I said, like I'm stressed about all the holiday stuff right now. I'm like, it's just, I know that I'm going to have to continue to move and adjust to where everybody else is in life to make sure that if there is a way in which we can all be together, I'm achieving that. Like, I want to know I did everything possible to achieve that if possible. And so like, you just have to sit down and like pro con it out sometimes. Like
Yeah.
I have said before, like my family has a little more emotional attachment to Christmas. It's like when my dad went into cardiac arrest and he woke up from his coma on Christmas Day. Like that is a very large deal in our household. Obviously, like we have a ton of traditions. There's a little more backstory of like that was the one holiday that I wasn't, my biological dad didn't have like custody or whatever. So yes, naturally we built more traditions. And then there is a different story with Thanksgiving. I do think though, like if you can just like decide how it's gonna go, that works for you guys, taking into consideration what your other siblings need and what works for them. It's just a lot, but I do think it'll work. Luckily,
exhausting.
Luckily, I'm the oldest, so it's like
Yeah, that's what I was
sort
gonna
of
say. Like,
built this expectation of like, okay, when you guys like, this family prioritizes all being together for Christmas, so you know that that's your priority if you can make it happen. John's family knows, like his brothers know that prioritizing being together for Thanksgiving is really important.
Yeah.
So I think they take that into like their plans and like whatever. And it's not because of a holiday being more important than the other. It's like two of my sisters are coming to New York on the 13th and 14th.
Nobody likes Thanksgiving more than Christmas.
But it's not about, I think you can make traditions for any holiday.
Yeah.
And I think that it's about having everybody together, making it a big deal, making it fun.
Yes, I agree.
But
Holiday.
I mean, it is a lot. I'm definitely like,
It's stressful. It's exhausting. That does lead us to our email, though. You kind of started touching on it, or not our email, our Honey Hotline voicemail, which is from this cutie girl. Should we play it?
Hi, Caroline and Nicole and everyone on the podcast. I hope you are all doing well, and thank you very much for creating these new ways of making questions for the podcast. So, I have a topic which I would like your opinion on. So, me and my boyfriend, we live together, but not in the city we grew up in. However, we are from the same city where we grew up. And whenever we go home for the holidays or vacations, anything. We just separate and each goes back to our families, which is kind of intuitive because, of course, we spend so much time together. But at the same time, isn't it a bit weird? I like to ask your questions on that, and if there are any other girls on the same situation. Thank you.
How cute.
She's cute. Okay, I have
love
thoughts.
Yeah, me too.
I was just actually having a conversation with Claire, who, though she's still in college, like the boy that she dates, they're both from Charleston. Like, even though they go to school in Colorado.
The dream.
So I was just talking to her the other day and I said, why don't you invite his parents over maybe Christmas Eve or whatever? And she was giggling at me and she was like, you're the only one that like pushes this, that like tries to get them together. Like, we live in the same town. It's just so easy for us to go to one house and then the other house. And I was like, right, but your future self is going to be excited for you that you figured out how to
I just
blend.
think it depends how into the relationship you are. Like,
well,
or
her
like
and her
how
boyfriend
deep-
live together.
Yeah, that's true.
I think
And
it
if they
is
live
intuitive
together
to
and
go
then
home
suddenly-
separately. I was just thinking about this on the train.
Like for Claire and her boyfriend in college, they don't live together yet.
Yeah.
Like that's totally fine. Also, like anything you do is totally fine. Like this girl that wrote in, I think it's totally fine that they do that. I really think
I don't think it's weird. I just would.
I think before you're engaged or married, it's actually normal. Like that's what Mike and I did. We split up for a lot of holidays. It's just
And she's saying
personally-
anytime they go home at all, like he goes to his house and she goes to her house.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think it's weird. I think it makes sense.
I think it makes sense, but for holidays, it's just like sad because you're like, oh, I want my boyfriend here. I want my girlfriend. Like, I want to spend this day with them as well.
I also was thinking about this because we literally, case in point, we're just having this conversation about how it's a lot. Like, it's mentally taxing. It's a lot. It takes a lot of organizing. They have a situation that is, as she said, intuitive and feels easy. So it's like, why fix what isn't broken? And why would you make a situation harder on yourself? Like, why would you go through all this effort to like combine your families or figure out where you need to stay so that you can stay together when what you're doing now just makes more sense and is easier.
Yeah.
But I think it's not a problem at all. I think what I would say is consider your future self. Like, there is going to be a point when, because you going to their hometown is the same thing as going to your own hometown, you haven't spent as much time with each other's families. Like, you're not getting as much bonding time with your partner's family because you're always at your own house.
Like before engagement and marriage.
Yeah.
Like the stuff you want because you want to suss out your future in-laws before
you have to
commit.
build a family with them all together. You're in a
You're
situation
like, build
of-
a family. I'm like, suss them out.
Yeah, no,
Decide
you
if
should suss them out. But it's sort of like if you say you get married, like you're in the position that a lot of people want to be in, which is like, oh, I wish they lived in the same town and whatever. And it would make certain things easier. We could do all these things together and we would never have to choose. But when you're in that situation, you also don't choose. You just do stuff separately because it's too easy.
That's the thing. Like, that's what got me when I first listened. I kind of just was like, why are we doing separate? Like, why aren't we like as if it's two divorced parents? You kind of like spend a couple nights with one and then go to the other house for a couple nights, or you know, you're staying at one house and you do the dinner with the other party and then go back to the other house. Like, I feel like it could be, if they wanted to do the holidays together in this listener's case, it could be easy.
But I think what it is, because this is what I was getting when I was talking to Claire, when I was like, hello, it just because it's, to me, she's in a way easier situation. Like, it's easy to do this. Like, a lot of people have a lot harder time getting there. But to her, it's like, it's why take something on that requires any type of orchestrating or scheduling or coordinating when you seeing both families is not dependent on it. It's like you have to like explain to them why doing a little bit of extra work makes sense. Like, if it were me, I would say every time you go back to your hometown, one night someone has the other over for drinks or dinner or whatever. Like, like the families.
I don't even think that the families have to have each other over. I'm saying if they go home, this listener and her boyfriend, they live together, they go home to their hometown. If they both stay with their in-laws, let's say, then then they go over for drinks and dinner with her family.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. Like
But I don't know if I think that goes to the point of what we were saying. It's like before you're married, you don't even choose holidays because it's not fun leaving your family.
right. Like, and well, that's the thing.
So
Before
why
you're
would they-
married, I really think like all in all, it's definitely not weird. I think once you're
But that's what I'm saying.
even engaged, I
do
think,
something for your future self, because even though this works now and it's not weird at all and we would all do that,
yeah.
you want as small as a transition of possible once you get married and you feel like, oh crap, we can't do that anymore.
Yeah. Well, and it's never weird. Like, honestly, even if you're married, do whatever you want. Go separate for all I care.
I think it's that when you have kids,
It's just sad. Even before kids, though, it's like, oh, I want to be with my husband on Christmas. That's
you
beyond
don't
like
wanna
the
be with your
weird. It's
parent.
just
Yeah.
sad.
well, so I think about this sometimes, like, because my in-laws they're from the same town. And so my mother-in-law will tell me a lot about like when they used to also live up there in like North Chicago, what they would do for like holidays. And she would just sort of say how like there was a lack of communication sometimes about what time each family was eating, and she was going to be with her mom and like her parents and her sister and whatever, and so the kids were going to be with her. So then it was like, oh, so then did he go eat dinner at his parents' house like separately, even though he's like a wife and kids like somewhere else? And so she'll talk to us about that when we're talking to her about like, are we crazy for like, really, are we being too over analytical trying to blend situations? And she'll sort of like share those stories and be like, I don't think so, because I think a lot of people just don't think about the implications of not trying to like build a little bit of a blended situation, and then later you just wake up one day and you're like, well, this sucks,
Yeah, like we should have.
or like this isn't working, or whatever.
I also think Thanksgiving Day, because now I'm thinking back to what we used to do. Like my mom would take us to Annapolis because a bunch of our side of the family was there, and we would just like bounce around houses a lot. Like we'd start at noon at somebody's house, or like even earlier, eat a little there and then bounce to another. Like that there could be some arrangement with that where you're setting it up to do like, I don't know.
That's kind of what I was thinking
holiday
too.
thing.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Depends
just
how close you
anything.
live.
Just do like a little extra like planning to be like,
Yeah.
there's some like, if your parents are going to have their friends over for drinks, invite his parents so that they're spending a little time together.
Yeah.
Because you have to think about more than just yourself. Like you're in a
and if
situation a
you're-
lot of people want to be in, where like, wait,
Yeah.
our parents could actually get to know your parents better. So when we have kids one day, it'll make everything
That's the thing. Like
easier.
I wish, I mean, it, to nobody's fault, we just didn't do this enough, but I do wish Mike's parents never knew my mom, which is sad. Like they're always,
Yeah,
like
it's
Mike's
really
mom
sad.
is always like, I wish I had met your mom. Like we were, and it's weird because we were dating in the beginning. Like Mike obviously met my mom, which is amazing, but his parents never did. And that's why I'm like, I do wish, like, as we were in those early years of dating, we had made more of an effort, maybe not on big holidays, but even just in general.
Yeah.
Made more of an effort to get our parents together, because what's the worst that can happen? You eventually break up and your parents are nice to each other. Like, what?
I think just because something is easy and intuitive doesn't mean that it's in your best interest. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes inconveniencing yourself a little bit to like do something like that.
Is the better long-term move.
Yeah. I think that's sort of like my point. Like, you never know when you're going to wish somebody had met someone, or you are going to wish that everybody could be together in the same room, or that there was more communication or friendship or camaraderie, so that it could like help you in your phase of life, or just assist you, or you might move to a different country. And so when you come back, you know, it's like you want to be able to see your families all together.
Yeah.
And so I just think it's a little bit of extra work, but I would keep staying separately. I don't think that's weird. They're not married. I don't think that there's any pressure to like leave your parents or your siblings.
Yeah. I could stay separate, but do a little effort to all join at some point, like for a cocktail.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
But also, to your point, they could do like this is one night that we're gonna go stay with each other at each person's house. Like
Yeah.
if you're home for a week, it's like
I mean, it depends how close they live. I want to know that. Like, are we same town, but it's a
if it's like an
far
hour
drive?
away.
But even that, like, don't talk to me about a far drive, okay?
Yeah.
Don't. I know a far drive. I've done it.
I thought you meant like the town that they live in that is not the town they grew up in. How close is it to their parents' town?
Oh, I don't know that.
Because like if it's like you're just driving an hour home,
I just like.
but if you have to fly,
This makes me want a world where, like, me, my in-laws, my family, we all just live in one town, but
Yeah.
that will physically never happen. So there's that.
I mean, yeah, I agree with
Like,
you.
how convenient would that be?
Well,
Like, if John's parents suddenly moved to Charleston
Yeah.
and, like, his brothers and everybody, you would literally do Christmas in Charleston, but, like, have them a part of it too.
it would be fantastic. It would be like my dad's family growing up. I didn't live in Alabama with them, but like the rest of the siblings and kids did.
Alabama?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. That's so random.
You didn't know that?
No.
My parents are both from Birmingham.
You didn't know my middle name.
Yeah, it's true. My parents are from Birmingham, Alabama. I would, whatever, custody agreement, like aside, when I would go there and pop in and pop out, they would like open presents in their respective homes and then all go to my grandmother's at like 10 a.m., 11 a.m. And then at like 3, like maybe my aunt, like, so her husband's parents would like maybe also come over and then eat together. And then it was like later they would leave and then go to his parents' house for like a later dinner. And it was like everybody planned it all together so that everybody could be at everything.
Yeah.
And that's the level of coordination that I think is, if someone was willing to do the legwork,
Yeah.
would be fantastic.
I have a question for you, though. We're so over time and I'm so late for this dinner, but I do have a
Oh
question.
yeah, we've got to go.
Do you think when you do have kids, let's say you're chilling with 3 kids, a 4th on the way,
Yeah, put it in there.
do you think that you'll still go down to your mom's house for Christmas, or will you? Oh, you do.
Well, it depends where. If I live here,
Yeah.
probably. Like
You're
I'm
like
going.
moving to Charleston.
No,
stressing
I'm
me
not.
out.
But I'm going for like a month, whatever I told you, for this Christmas season. But it's like on accident because I have to like stay for that wedding. So it doesn't make sense like to come back up.
Yeah.
But I have also, didn't I say on the podcast that like we talked about doing like
a
if
beach
and-
house, but that's for Thanksgiving.
Yes, love that idea. But if and when we like get pregnant or whatever, that we would potentially like
Move down to Charleston.
for John's like paternity leave.
Yes.
Yeah, like I
But
think
that's not Christmas. But
it's not, but to me it's the same logic where like I'm just going to go to whoever has the bigger house.
okay.
If I had a big house with a bunch of rooms and it was going to be easy to host people for as long as they wanted to stay without it being overwhelming, I would love for everyone to come to me.
Jenna's stubborn and she's like, I want to do Christmas with my kids at my house with our tree and the presents under it.
Yeah.
And Santa comes to our house. And that's what my parents did growing up. Like, we did Christmas Day all together, the 5 of us at our home. Like,
Yeah.
we never really did. I don't remember my parents ever like bringing presents to grandparents.
But the thing is, you could drive to your grandparents after, right?
no.
Oh, okay,
Nev-
yeah.
quite
Me
literally
neither.
never.
Like if I was going to do it with, we did it also just the 6
that
of
would be
us.
a dream.
Yeah, that would be a dream. We
But
did it the
no.
6 of us too. But I will say there were years when my mom wanted to spend it with her sisters. So like we would go to one aunt's house, everybody. But it was the same magic. Like it was like we all
For
had,
the day.
I mean, we didn't live in the same
morning?
towns. So we had to
so
like
you
go
had to.
stay there for Christmas. Like
That's the thing. That's well, because that's I want the cousins to open presents with each other. So
as a
think
kid,
we're gonna
I
have to break
loved those. Were
tradition.
those were my favorite Christmases. I will say, like waking up with your cousins.
Yeah, that
and then
sounds
your
fun.
parents are like so happy and vibey because they have their siblings with them, and like
we never did
they're
that.
having a fun time. And maybe it was more stressful for them than they like let on. I remember having an incredible time with my siblings and my cousins, and it was like so special. And I just feel like I love a lot of like noise in the house. And
Yeah. No, I don't know why we never did that. I mean, we lived in Florida. My whole Santa childhood was Florida, and my mom's side all lived in Maryland. My dad's all Long Island, still do. So we never came up for Christmas.
we didn't do it often, but I liked it enough where I would be totally cool. Like if one sibling had a big house and that's what we did, that I'd be cool with it. Whose house just fits everybody and like, let's do it. We're all good at like bringing the Christmas magic. I think like we're not going to like go to somebody's house who's like not going to decorate and whatever.
Bring the magic. Well, sorry for the Jewish listeners. We just completely talked about Christmas.
Yeah, I'm really sorry.
But hopefully it was entertaining. Yeah, definitely leave us a voicemail because I liked this better than an email because I get anxiety reading emails. So leave us a voicemail at the Honey We're Home hotline in our bio on Instagram. And until then,
we'll see you guys next week. Have a good day.